He has a point. Oh my goodness. So I came across this clip on Twitter of this interview with Brandon T. Jackson. And I went to go check out the full interview. Now I didn't watch the full interview. I just watched, the segment that I wanted to see. And it's a segment that had to deal with Cat Williams. Not all of it, but it started off, the jumping point was from Cat Williams. And they were discussing about, him being in a dress. And he goes off and talking about, missing with all that dress stuff, right? Because everyone's in a dress. They got, Robin Williams in a dress. They got this white guy in a dress. They got this black guy in a dress. That it's not so much about, wanting solely black people in a dress. That there's too much of an emphasis on that.
Like if you wear a dress, Cat Williams points that out.
What are you talking about? Every comedian wore a dress. Not just that. I'm not defending the dress. I'm saying
they always tried to get like black entertainers in outfits. Like
they getting everybody in outfits, man. Black, white, niggas, Robin Williams, all these niggas is doing it.
He then proceeds to tell Cat Williams that, hey, you're a slave too, right? You spend all your time talking about me, but you're a slave. You're in the same position. You're a slave just like everyone else. You want to say that you're not in the Illuminati, and he talks about how he made this joke where it's like, I'm not in the Illuminati, but my agent is. And it's like, your agent is in the Illuminati, right? Your agent is still a part of the system. There is no escaping the system.
Like I did the joke. I said, look, I'm not in the Illuminati, but my agent is. Nigga, that nigga agent in the Illuminati too. He worked for Live Nation just like everybody else. Don't act like you freak.
But the issue he seems to have with Cat Williams is that he feels that Cat Williams is coming off as holier than thou. Like he's above the fray. And he's like, no, you're not. He's like, I know you trying to buy the property in Alabama to start your own thing because you want to get free of the system, but you're not free of the system. That's why you buying that piece of property.
That's why he bought that shit down in Atlanta or whatever. Alabama, cool. You buying your freedom, but don't act like you free.
And he goes on to say that, hey, I left for 7 years to help his own people, to help black people. That's where I would say a lot of this bitterness comes from. Because when I heard that, I was like, got you.
Tell him to do that. Tell him to leave. Tell him not to make money. Tell him to go broke trying to help your people. Tell him to invest in his millions and millions of dollars in his people to make us come together. Then I shut the fuck up. Until he do that, I don't want to hear nothing he got to say because he's not a real prophet.
There's very much, not a disdain, but a bitterness to a lot of what he says, where he tried and he saw, how conditioned, how brainwashed many of us are, how much this country has harmed us, through education, through health. It seemed to have had a significant impact on him, as it would, any person, if you go and try and help your people and then you get called an agent. And so I think there is definitely that mindset that stems from post-traumatic slave syndrome, which inhibits us to actually do something that would benefit the collective. Because if you have a group of people, the lineage of evil, that have instilled the mindset of, hey, it's just about you. You get yours, forget all of them. You get yours. And he goes on to say that, hey, people have $200K to spend at the strip club, but they don't have $200K to build up a building, for the youth.
Black people don't fuck all the black shit now. I'm done with it. I did that already. Nobody want to come together. If you want to come together, we going to come together when we going down to motherfucking Legends and you want to spend $200,000. When it's time to buy a community center for the kids, you got to call your accountant.
They don't have $200K to actually help out the community, actually help their people out. So he's like, he doesn't want to hear any of that. And I agree. He's 100% correct. Because we have these hustlers and grifters, I would argue, that are exploiting the pain of the community for their own financial benefit, for their own personal clout. None of any of these grifters or hustlers, anything that they have put out in the community has elevated the community. It hasn't given us any form of reparations. It hasn't given us any new businesses. It's done nothing except put money in their pockets. And I would argue that has to deal with the conditioning, the post-traumatic slave syndrome of the collective, because they have managed to condition us as like a dog to a bell when it comes to things that aren't going to benefit us. When it comes to the NFL, some of these people, that I've come across can tell me everything about a football player. His height, his weight, what he did last season, what is his chances, his probability of winning the Super Bowl, all of this. But they can't tell me who the mayor is. They can't tell me who the representative is. They can't tell me who their senator is. You want to tell me that just haphazardly happens? No, that's conditioning. Okay? They can tell me all about Serena Williams. They can tell me all about LeBron James and Bronny and the chances of LA and who their trade should be and why that's a good trade and why that's not a bad trade and all that. But they can't tell me when midterms are.
Damn.
They can't tell me, hey, how do we get that traffic light fixed? Hey, how do we get the road fixed? How do we get a stop sign there? They can't tell me any of that. You want to tell me that just magically happened? Absolutely not. That is conditioning. And anyone from people I've spoken to, anyone who tries to go out into the community is left alone. That's what happens. They're left alone because the poison that this country has given us over the years is manifesting itself to where we are more concerned with stuff that has nothing to do with us. That NFL isn't going to get you reparations, okay? That, NBA draft isn't going to get you, police reform. It's not going to happen. And I think that's a travesty, and I understand his bitterness because it is frustrating when you're trying to speak to someone, but their ear is taken because they listen to some grifter or hustler telling them, hey, that's a trick bag family. You got to vote for the couch, okay? You got to vote for the couch. It's absolutely stressful if you are genuinely concerned about your people, which Brandon seems to be. And I think he hits the nail on the head again when he's talking about, miss me with all this black stuff, bro. Miss me all this black stuff, because a lot of these people aren't about that life. They constantly want to talk about, you want to delineate, right? If you want to delineate, if you want to separate, then do that. And I think his voice very much mirrors mine, where it's like, hey, if you want to delineate, right, then go ahead and delineate.
If we gonna really divide, let's do it. Fake all this fake ass black shit. If we gonna really divide. If we not, nigga, you're American.
So it's, it's like a dog chasing his tail. You have all these people who want to make these promises who want to make these comments. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to delineate. But it's not having any impact. It has no impact, and you're not really about that life.
Because you know why? I got receipts of really doing it. And they saw when I had my locks and I was doing all this stuff, revolting against everything that trying to bring people together. They don't want to come together unless it's some strip club shit or some bullshit or some freak offs. Niggas don't want to come together.
And he talks about how do white people get what they wanted, right? You want to talk about all the horrible actions that this country has done, white supremacy and everything it's done to us. Then it's like, okay, then revolt. If that's what you're really about, then revolt. That's what white people did. That's how we got this country, is it not? They revolted.
What happened when the white people had a problem with the government? They revolted against them motherfuckers.
He pretty much says like, either be about it or don't. Then shut up. Stop talking about all this crime and all this, what has happened and reparations and all this if you're not really about that life.
No, I'm saying that if we're going to revolt. Yeah. If you're not, we not. It's nothing worse than a fake revolution.
Right.
You can't fake revolt.
I 100% agree. I've said this time and time again. I've said 100%. Like if we wanted to be active, we could change this country for the better of everyone. We could do it if we truly felt that way. But something that I would say is hindering, the majority of black people is this illusion of the inclusion. You're not really under the same conditions that your ancestors were. I know it feels good for a lot of black people to say, well, my ancestor, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman and all that. You're not Harriet Tubman. You're not Frederick Douglass, okay? You're not Nat Turner. You're not them, okay? And we can see that due to our present condition. You're not really about that life. Stop complaining about something if you have no true intent or desire to change it. And the real issue is that you don't. Most people don't because they're under illusion of occlusion, because it's not that bad, right? You may hear a story that, this person said the N-word to this other guy, and everyone's like, oh, that's horrible. You saw it on video. At the back of your head, you're like, well, it hasn't happened to me. So, it is what it is. It hasn't happened to me. I wouldn't allow that to happen to me. And that's, that is the crux of the problem, in my opinion. That is the crux. That this whole concept of, it's not my fault. It's not my job. I don't have anything to do with it. It doesn't hurt me. So that's on you.
They don't want to come together unless it's some strip club shit or some bullshit or some freak offs. Niggas don't want to come together. So I'm not going to be stressing my family out trying to bring everybody together if they don't want to. Because black people do whatever the fuck they want to do. When them Yeezys was out, niggas was buying it. Period.
And it's this concept that he talks about, or at least connotes about, regarding, crabs in a barrel. But instead of someone saying, hey, I'm going to, I got mine, you got to get yours, he goes on to say, well, when I tried to help them, nobody wanted to do anything. So it's like the crab getting out of the barrel, but lending his hand back into the barrel to pull other people up, and they're trying to pull him down. So at that point, what do? You become bitter. You're like, I don't want to hear any of this, because when it actually comes down to it, you're not really about that life. So then that leaves me screwed. If I'm really about that and you're not, and when we go forward, I don't have backup, bruh, where does that leave us? It leaves me done. I get locked up or I'm gone. Bro, I go night-night off to heaven. So I absolutely hear and agree with a lot of what he said. I absolutely agree with it. Because I think anything we wanted to do, when it comes to the schools, when it comes to reparations, when it comes to any type of media, when it comes to our representation, all of that can be changed. It absolutely can. We have the power to change it. Albeit, I will admit that the conditioning that has happened is really preventing that from occurring. It really is. Because if you condition a group of people like a dog with a bell to be self-destructive, you bastardize their culture and you feed it back into them. You bastardize their music. You bastardize how they view one another. You do all this. Yes, they are naturally going to be self-destructive. That's what they're going to do. And now it falls into your whole narrative. It's like, oh, look at them. Look at them. If they were just more like us, we would be in a different place. We would a better America. And it's truly a lineage of evil and the type of mental and physical warfare that has been upon us, to be honest with you. But in spite of that, I still believe that we can break free. I still believe that we are stronger than this, because if we have any somewhat of our DNA, our lineage from our ancestors, then surely this is nothing. We can definitely overcome this. I guess only time will tell. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. I don't know the opposite of what I said. I don't know. The only opposite I can think is somebody who wants to be a Sambo. That's the only opposite of what I said, because everything that he was talking about, everything I was talking about, is very much for the empowerment of everyone. That's what it's about, okay? You're only as strong as the people you got behind you. And if the people you got behind you are broke, dumb, and have no political understanding, then, bro, it's game over. Nevertheless, if you happen to disagree, you know where to find me Friday to Sunday. Call in and we will duke it out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think, and subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing.
If we're going to really divide. If we not, nigga, you're American.